not white. You know, we have to tell our own stories. You know, I'm all inclusive. This story, like, I'm not purposely trying to like not include Caucasian people. It's just it's in Compton, you know. And if we want to see these type of stories, we have to support them.
Hi, I was actually that was going off on one of the questions I wanted to ask. You talked about the grassroots effort you tried to make this film, and I was actually really curious on how you were able to raise the money for this film, because it did seem like a very, like you said, it seemed like something that was very difficult to raise the money for, and especially coming from a Latino background, it's a little hard to get some of our voices out there too. So.
Absolutely, no, yeah, and we're all in it together, to be honest. Yeah, one of my first investors was a French guy. That's sad. I mean, it wasn't like an Asian tech guy. It was a French guy, and we raised in increments of 369,000. We just scraped it together, and we did post-production by raising it on Kickstarter. So that's when the community actually came out. But then it's because I had something to show. Also, I'm like, hey, check this out. It's great, right? But when no one was gonna get any glory for it, God, it was so hard. It was really like a family and friends effort. Barely. Like basically my producer, who's not here, I wouldn't have not been able to make this film without him. But I had a certain budget in mind, and that was already lean as it was. I wrote it to be lean. But then it came to a point because we had Simone, she had her summer vacation, we had to shoot it during her vacation. I said, okay, we gotta shoot this. What is a bare minimum? Where we do like 5 jobs each, you know, and he told me a number and I said, okay, let's do it for 10,000 less than that. So it was very difficult to get this made.
Yeah. I got 2 questions. One's like not serious, but the first one is, why did you choose to portray the movie in black and white? And the second one was, how'd you get David to run so much?
David is Daniel, the fat dude. To answer the first question, it's black and white because it's inspired by a French film called La Haine from the early 90s. It has very similar themes. It's also about police brutality and this kid that's in a coma. They're waiting to see if he's going to wake up, and it's about 3 diverse friends that are, you know, wandering around the suburbs of Paris. And it's in black and white, so that was a huge influence for me. Also, I feel like black and white, the aesthetic starts to fade away and you start really focusing on the relationships. Color's expensive. I couldn't afford blue or green or yellow. You know, I had to choose. I was like, okay, I can choose 2 colors, black and white. But yeah, no, I didn't want people to spend the first 15 minutes dissecting whether it was period perfect or not. You know, you just relax into it and you know it's not 2017. I also, you know, there was like early thoughts of like, yeah, I want this to look like an old NWA music video, you know, like there's a lot of reasons. But mostly because of La Haine. That's like, that movie rocked me when I first saw it. Answer your question, David. I don't know, man. Like I was like, you gotta lose some weight, bro.
Can you tell us what it was like to act with your dad and like when you guys were cussing at each other?
Yeah, I mean, part of this experience for me is a very sort of selfish thing. Selfishly, I wanted to do this film so I could share the screen with my dad because I'll have that forever now. So that's amazing. Sort of part of this movie is like I wanted to set up stereotypes so you feel like you know these people. You know, we've seen that Korean store clerk a million times. You know, Menace to Society, you know, in so many movies, and it's just like you think you know what that is, but my job in the film was to peel those layers back. So, you know, you see him and he does that despicable thing by hitting, you know, Camilla in the face, and you're just like, I just wanted to paint him a certain way and then start to peel it back and make him a human being. That was with everybody, even Keith at first you see him as this guy, and then you see him talk about his mom. Then all of a sudden you empathize for him, and he becomes a human being. And that's what's important about this film. I don't pick sides. You know, everybody's wrong, because in the wager was this little girl's life, and you know, she was so important because there's so much testosterone in the film that, like, we need somebody that everybody's, you know, gonna act like their true self with, you know, without the bravado and all that stuff. But you know, acting with my dad, that was, you know, I was really surprised once he showed up. My dad was a child actor from 10 to 25, so I knew he could do it. But you know, it was like once he stepped on set, he was very professional, and he asked the right questions. He had input about his wardrobe, and that was really, you know, yeah, but in an actor way, in a good way, you know, and that was really interesting to watch him work as an actor.
What would you say was the thing that most impactful, like, learning experience you had to write, like seeing the writing?
Most impactful?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't want, like, this weight on my shoulders. You know, I felt like it was a necessity, right? So I didn't see anyone else stepping up to the plate. So that was the impact for me. I was like, I'm gonna make this film, and I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna have to answer to people. I'm gonna have to answer to every community. So, you know, there was always that weight while I was shooting it. I'm like, how are people gonna take this? You know, how, like, what am I, like, what is gonna happen once I put this film out? Also, I titled the film Gook. So, like, that's heavy. But I was making a statement. So, you know, that was basically, like, as a director, you know, every day showing up to set, I was like, okay, like, it's game time. I gotta be serious about this. It's not child's play, because, you know, I'm telling a story that's very sensitive. And, you know, to take on that sort of responsibility is a lot.
You're gonna take a couple more questions and we're gonna step outside, but.
So, there's not a lot of information that's readily and easily available regarding the riots with the Korean point of view. With that in mind, there's mostly Victoria was saying we were on the roof, we had guns, we have military background from our parents. Having said all that, you were at university, you were in Irvine. How did you get all that information? Your reason was standing in a closet with the dog barking. I don't think any of us would have even thought of that. Where did all that come from?
Well, I mean, you know, some of my friends are here. We hung out with a lot of hood-ass kids too, you know, I mean. Yeah, but you know, I don't know, my dad, you know, it was like, we were fortunate because my dad commuted every day to Paramount. So my sister and I can go to a nice public school. You know, my dad worked the swap meets for a long time. You know, and we were exposed to all this. It wasn't like there was a clear, like, distinction between, you know, life and work. It wasn't like we didn't see any of that stuff. And in terms of research, I mean, our family, we went to Koreatown, like, you know, so often, like every Sunday, to go to sauna and do our grocery shopping and all that stuff. So, you know, and you congregate to where your community is with other fellow Koreans, and you know, we spent a lot of time in Koreatown and also in Garden Grove. And you know, as far as research, you know, I talked to my dad, but also I talked to a lot of other people who experienced the riots, and also just online. I mean, you know, like, there's a really great comprehensive that LA Times did, like, breaking down hour to hour. You know, people have also asked me, how did you represent the African American community? Like, what was, like, this is one thing I can say, is I will never know what it feels like to be black in this country. That's, like, I never claim to know. The only thing I can do is create three-dimensional characters and put them on the screen, and this is through my instrument as a Korean American, and I'm just doing my best.
We're gonna take one last question.
When you see with Mr. Kim, when he said, like, 내가 미국에 와서 일을 잘 편하고 왔으니까, you know, like, I came to America so you guys can live better.
Yeah.
That's such, like, a hard, home-hitting sentence.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in that situation right now. Like, wanted to thank you for Exotica. Because people say, oh, you Koreans have it good. Or like, oh, you guys are so like wealthy. Why are you down here? Like, it's not a lot. So
Yeah, absolutely.
thank you for that.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out. It really means a lot. This film today went nationwide. If you enjoyed it, please tell your friends and spread the word because, you know, these type of stories matter, and I hope you enjoy the film. I hope you enjoy the dogs barking.